Hey everybody, this is Chanchai. I'm going to be doing a session with TK Crush, and they play Vanessa, and we're going to be working on buffering. Now, the buffering with Vanessa is actually really hard to do, so I'm going to be taking their call in just a second here. Okay. Hey, just be 1 second. Hey Crush, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, is it okay if I record this? I can keep it private if you prefer, but I was just double checking. I just tend to record sessions, but it's okay.
No.
Okay. Alright, awesome. Yeah, so, I was just, so we'll work on buffering. It is kind of tough to do some of Vanessa's buffering, but it's a lot of fun. But I can, I'm having a lot of fun doing it though. But I do admit it can be a tough one. But we can also work on some of the damage with Vanessa as well. So, are you in the game already?
Yeah, I just kind of.
Okay. But it seemed, when I fought you, it seemed like you had a pretty good grasp of the controls. You're doing really well with a lot of stuff, you know. And so, but yeah, it's a really frame tight buffer whenever you have to deal with like fast attacks. Go ahead and set up the room and send me an invite, and I'll join it. Let's see if I got an invite already. All right. Let's see here.
Any preferred settings?
Any setting that you're comfortable with will be fine. I'll be playing offense dance Vanessa with you as well. But yeah, so far, how are you feeling playing as Vanessa in general? You've been playing mostly Vanessa, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've been getting frustrated because it's like you said, I haven't been buffering, so I've just been doing it when I think about it. And when I do a lot of 60, it just get evaded. And then it's like, well...
So that's the tricky thing is that when you buffer, it does make you more open to evade. It's still better to do because the thing is like, the gist of it is that you want to buffer because then you get the maximum frame benefit, which means you have better options. Now, VF is a heavy options game. So this gets scary because a lot of other games, there's not many options. Like, there are options, but you can lock somebody down. And so it's about, so a lot of times, in a lot of other fighting games, it's about breaking out of that situation where you have to guess, and then controlling things so that there isn't any guessing. There's just kind of outskilling, you know? But VF, it's you know, we're getting ourselves closer to guess when we're using our best options, but again, this is a game where there's always an answer for what you're doing. Just like there's always an answer for what your opponent does, and there's always an answer for what you do. And that's a very insecure feeling when you're used to not having the forced guessing, right? So getting good at buffering, the reason we stress it so much is because if you can't do buffering, you're gonna lose on other things. You're gonna lose on like somebody mashing is gonna beat you because you're not maintaining the frames as tightly, or you're gonna have to play safer than you need to. So you're not gonna be able to have you're not gonna be able to use your best attacks. Oh crap! I did Leon. That's okay. We'll start with this. But you're not gonna be able to like use your best attacks. You're just gonna be using your subpar attacks because you're throwing away frame advantage. So using buffering is making sure that you're going to play frame tight. That does mean that if they decide to evade like your attack, there's like a higher chance that's going to happen, but it's worth that risk because your reward is actually a lot higher than that unless they punish. So oh, we're going to jump out actually. After this, we'll spar this game. So go ahead and it's hard to show with Leon because I forgot that to change character. But basically, for example, let's do the high jab elbow because this is a good one. So you do PG into 6P, right? So this one you should do automatically because the main criteria is that your jab is going to touch the opponent, okay? As long as your jab touches me, I can't do much about this. I mean, Leon can, but let's say I was going to low punch, right? Go ahead and do 2 jabs in a row, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so 2 jabs in a row, then low punch beats it, right? That's not so good, right? But if you did do high jab into low jab now yours is beating me because it's +2, and that's because you're buffering. If you're not buffering, there's a chance that we might hit each other, because then you won't be using the frame advantage. So you're buffering by doing this because you're doing it right away. So now do the PG 6B. So, and if you do it correctly, you will beat my low punch. If you buffer quickly, you will beat my low punch.
Okay,
So you have to really commit. See? See, now you're beating it because this is actual buffering. You have to commit to it. So in this case, in the case of the high jab, you just have to assume it's going to touch me. Because as long as it touches me, you will beat this low punch. Right? So right now it's just, you got to do it faster. There you go. See? There you go. There you go. Perfect. So now you're feeling the difference, right? This is why we're saying you got to use the buffer. If you don't use the buffer, and you didn't know that you were not using the buffer because you were just doing it slowly, right? But so like same thing now. For example, we're gonna do the same drill, right? I'm gonna do 2 jabs in a row. You're gonna low punch after you block the first one, okay?
Right.
Good. See? Good. Good. Right? Now you're gonna see the difference here, right? So now it's like my thing is always gonna win, right? Because I'm +2 and we're doing the same speed.
Right.
But now the elbow, for this elbow to work, I have to be buffering. If I'm not buffering, most likely your low punch will beat this elbow, okay?
Okay.
Right? So same
If
drill.
you timed it right, you usually get, if they try to down jab, you get the counter hit.
Yeah. So right now, Tricky was in their video. She was basically doing rhythm because people need to kind of understand that you got to commit to this one. This one is not even just active buffering. It's easier to buffer. Like let's say you block my side kick like this, right? This is easy to buffer. This one you could just input a move really early. You have so much time to do it, so you get the full 12 frames. See, just like that, right? Right. And even if I try to do rapid, all you had to do is block and counterattack. This is easy buffer because there's a lot of recovery time on this sidekick for both of us, right? Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do sidekick into low punch, right? And you could actually do the hold, while you're guarding, hold forward. And just after you block this sidekick, just do the kick. Do the 6K, okay?
Oh, it's 6K?
Yeah, I'm going to mash. I'm going to do sidekick into low punch, okay? And this is going to be very easy in this case. There you go. There you go. See, that's a lot easier to buff. So now we're seeing if you're buffering or not, right? So don't even try to time it. Just do it. You see the moment that, just slightly after this side kick hits you, go ahead and do the move you want to do, okay? Any move you really want to do. Like, even do 9K, right? Even if you do 9K, that should win here. That's 9P. Try 9K. Yeah, see? And now we're going to try this. Upward and kick, yeah.
Oh, upward kick, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the hop kick, okay.
Yeah. Unless that thing is like slower than 20 frames, that should win.
I had to, like, people can, like, do screens.
Right.
I was really losing some, like,
so go ahead and go to... Yeah, so let's keep practicing this drill so you can feel the buffer, okay? So remember, if the attack is big, it's a pretty easy buffer. The reason that the one that's hard is the high punch, low punch, and elbow, because those are really like fast recovering attacks. So there's like almost no stun. So you have almost no time to buffer. You have to do it like right away. But we're going to start with this. Make it easy. Okay? Yeah. So I'm going to do this into jab, right? This into jab. So you got to buffer. You got to, long before you recover, try to do it early. Do your attack early. Whatever it is you want to do, okay?
I'm going to just keep it simple just because.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. See? You're beating me on the buffer. This is buffering. If you're not buffering, if you're trying to perfect time it like every other fighting game, there's a good chance you're going to be late. Alright?
Yeah.
But if you buffer, if you buffer it, there's like, you're going to do it perfectly, and the game gives you 12 frames. That's a lot of time. That's 1/3 of a second, okay? You have 1/3, like, it's giving you 1/3 of a second to input early. just to have perfect timing, right? This is not Street Fighter. This is Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter, you get to input early. See, you've got the hang of it, and you can do it as early as, like, you can do it as early as when my kick touches you, kind of. That might be too early on this particular move, but on elbow, that is all you need. Now let's try 9K, okay? Try to buffer 9K, all right? Let me check the frame data on that. I might be wrong about 9K. So 9K is... Okay, there we go. So Vanessa's 9K is... Why is this? From defensive stance. Can we give me the offense stance? Alright. So Vanessa's 9K is... This, I hate how cumbersome the official move. I hope that VFDC gets it soon. So it's 17 frames. You should definitely be able to do this. Okay. If I uppercut, same thing, right? I'm gonna do this. There you go. See, block this uppercut. Boom. See how easy that is, right? Feels a lot easier, right? On this kind of move, it's easier. This move, it's easier. So now, let's do what's standard for Japanese. This is what every Japanese player is going to measure you. First, I'm going to low punch. When you block it, I want you to low punch me back, okay?
Alright.
See, that's not buffering. This is where it requires more buffering. Alright, and then once we can get you to... Yeah, you got to do it right away. The moment that this low punch touches you, you got to do that low punch, okay? This is kind of hard. So this is where it gets harder. Let's make it easier. I'm gonna do elbow, and then I'm gonna do elbow into low punch. Okay? You're gonna block it, and you're gonna low punch me. All right? Perfect. 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 And you can. So that was accidental, but you get it. Let's switch to Vanessa though. I'm gonna switch to Vanessa.
You gotta be fast.
You do gotta be fast, but you can see that online you can still do it, right? It's just that you gotta do it early.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, the same people that have trouble doing it online, they have trouble doing it offline. When I challenge them, when I fight them, I'm like, I can see. But it's either, sometimes it's because they're mentally stacked, meaning like the pressure that I'm putting on them makes it a lot harder. But sometimes it's really just, sometimes it's something else, you know. A lot of time it's just that they're trying to play it like other fighting games, so they're waiting and they're trying to perfect time it, and then now they're like 2 or 3 frames late, you know. And sometimes 5 frames late. Sometimes they're just really late. So that's why we keep talking about the buffer. We're not trying to gaslight anybody, and we're not talking about something that doesn't exist. This is really important. So we're gonna do this elbow, okay? And you're gonna attack back, right? Just we start with low punch. This time I want you to I'm gonna low punch, or I'm gonna elbow, and I want you to elbow back, okay? So 6p. Good. 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 But you can see how easy it is to not do it, right? And then you don't know, and it's hard to know. But this is like how fast you got to do it online, but also offline too. Trust me, a lot of people think like it's the online lag, and I'm like, no, it's you. You know, it's like this is the human lag you're dealing with because you want to react to it. And so this is why I'm saying when I react, I'm not reacting to the hit. I'm reacting to like watching. I'm seeing like you see how my character is doing this elbow. Well, now I know I'm gonna block it, so I've already in my head kind of know what I'm gonna do. I've made the decision that quickly, right? As soon as I see this, I kind of know what I'm going to do. And so that's kind of what we're doing here. So, yep, there you go. So you want to react to like the fact that I'm attacking. Doesn't mean you hit the button when I attack, but it means like your mind is ready. You're like, I know what this is. I know what I can do when I block this, right? Perfect. Look at that. You're getting a lot better with it. You're getting a lot better at this. But it is hard. I'm making this harder. I am showing you the difference though. Earlier when we did the uppercut, that was a lot easier, right? When we do Leon's uppercut,
Oh,
that's.
yeah, I'm definitely have to practice that.
But now this elbow, this is harder. This is a fast poke, right? And we haven't even gotten to low punch, right? Low punch is harder. Low punch is really hard. But every high-level Japanese player is watching if the opponent can elbow this, right? Like, but you start out with low punching. You start out with like low punching this back.
So I can't elbow that.
You can. Watch, try it.
Okay.
Dash into me, do 2 low punches.
Oh wow.
Right? This is what's happening. If you watch the matches in League, I do this to everybody, right? If you watch the matches in League, I'm doing this to everybody. See? And it's because I've mentally prepared. So like for me, I've mentally prepared because you see this low punch animation? It is so easy to see it from a mile away. If you're not looking for it after, but you're looking that they crouch. See, 1 is they crouch, right? 2, you're kind of seeing that it's going to be a punch, so you're just like, it's a low punch. And I know what to do. And also, anything else that's going to be crouching is going to be worse than this. So this is all I have to react to, is just this crouching into an attack, right? So we're going to do elbow into low punch, and then you're going to block and do elbow, okay? We're going to go back to this. Alright? So you gotta block the elbow and yes, there you go. Perfect. 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 See, you can do this. You just have to train. One is that you do gotta train yourself to watch, to be reacting not to the hit itself, not to the hit. Like, you gotta be ready to act when that button gets to you, when the elbow touches you. But to be able to react to that, you need to be reacting to the opponent attacking. You need to be seeing, like, don't look at your character, look at my character. That's the key. So number 1 key, look at your opponent's character, and then you start learning that this is about the speed of decision making and then the speed of doing the action. So first you got to do the decision making. The decision making comes when you realize I'm attacking you. I've really done it, right? So if I'm doing this, I'm not doing anything. But the moment I do this, that's a very different animation. So you just kind of train yourself to see that, right? Perfect. Look at that. You just beat the double low punch, which is a hard one. When you do training mode against level 5 AI, there's a reason it does like 3 or 4 low punches in a row. It's training you for this. It's specifically training you for this. It's not mocking you. It's not dumb AI. They put it in there because they're like, this is the bridge you need to cross as a player. Like, you need to get better at dealing with this. And it's true. You must get better at this. Right? Perfect. So we're doing the elbow because it's the easier one. Right?
Round 2. Ready, go!
Yeah, I think when I was playing in the League, I was getting like a down jab into an elbow or into a 6P, and I was losing it a lot. I'm like, why am I losing that?
Yeah.
But I was losing it a lot. Usually, I'd be like, okay, if they top set or if they top kick, yeah, they should win that. But just throwing out a move like a jab or a string or something, I'm like, why am I losing that? And I was just confused at the time. I don't understand why I'm losing it.
So this is the reason, because now you're realizing that when we're doing with the safe pokes, you have to react fast. But if we go back to, like, let's say you're blocking like this side kick, right? Like, let's imagine this is not a real thing, but let's imagine that I'm not gonna string and I'm gonna low punch just so that you can see the speed difference. See how this will be so much easier, right? Sorry. See, it's a lot easier, right?
Right.
And that's because there's a lot more time to react. There's a lot more time to buffer. But there isn't much time now we're going to switch to elbow. This is harder. Perfect. But that was perfect. That is perfect. See, and now what you're doing, I can see your mind is doing this properly. Your mind is looking at my character. When are they going to act? And that when they act, what I'm going to do is I'm going to block. That's the first part of my action. But my second part of my action is I'm going to right away buffer the attack that I choose to do. Right?
Okay.
Okay, so now I want you to block.
Okay.
Let's do the elbow. You're blocking the elbow. And I want you to do a fireball with the kick button. Okay? Quarter circle forward kick. Now, this is going to be harder because you have to do it pretty fast, okay? But let's try it this way first. So now I'm going to do the same thing I did, but when you block my elbow, I want you to do like quarter circle forward and kick, alright?
Right.
There you go, see it? This is what we're talking about, right? This is the move you've been wondering about, like how to get this to work, right? But you have to buffer it, and that makes it hard. So. Look at that. That was perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So I get what you're saying.
And it's like even if we're playing on Revo, you're still gonna have trouble with this if you're not getting, like, if we're not training like this. You don't want to be late on this in general, even on rollback netcode. Like I told you, this is a real thing in offline play that I have to train people on, like how fast. The thing is, VF does not penalize you for playing too fast usually. Other games do. Other games really penalize you for hitting a button too early. This game encourages you to hit the button pretty early, right? And the more you get used to this, the easier it's gonna be. That was good. That was good. Look at that. That was beautiful. So now let's do the harder one. Okay, are you ready for the hard one? The hard one's gonna be, I'm gonna double low punch. Okay. First, I'm gonna do this.
And you still want me to do quarter circle?
You can still stay. Yeah, you can still block high. You can block low if you want, but I'm gonna double low punch. Okay. This is a really hard one. So if this one's hard, then what you do is you switch to something easier. So first off, the first easy thing is to do low punch. So one, you're gonna low punch me back after blocking. Okay. Let's start there. Let's work our way up, because in the match you need to make these adjustments. All right. So low punch, perfect. Low punch, 2, 3. Oh, almost. That was a little late. 4. Oh, nope. 5. Okay. Now let's do low punch. This time I want you to block and do elbow. Okay. Now you got to be a little faster. Good. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's really good. Does that feel a lot better?
Yeah, it definitely do. It's just like it's a feeling to it.
Yeah.
Once you get the feeling, I think, like for the different timings, I noticed, like you said, there's different timings for different moves. So.
Exactly. Well, the thing is that the game is very generous. It's just that these moves are not generous. Okay. All the other moves are generous. These moves are not. These moves you have very little time to respond to. So later on, you're going to realize whether you can or you can't. And if you can't, you just change the way you play a bit, you know, which is easier said than done. But if you can, as long as you can do,
you feel like you can't react to it.
So
that day, I guess.
Like it happens to me too. Sometimes I'm kind of slow, and you'll hear me say it on stream. So I'll switch to just doing low punches back, or I'll play a little bit of a different game, or I'll change my tactics. But sometimes, the thing is, I know that I'm capable of bringing myself back to it, so I just tell myself I'll just get back to it, and I just gotta be sharper. I gotta change my focus for just a little while so that I can make sure I'm doing this correctly, right? And so you can see this is not a slow game, right? This is would you say VF is a slow game or a fast game?
Fast. Especially, it's slow at the beginner level. When you play like beginner players, we don't know what we're doing.
Right.
Playing somebody that know what they're doing, then you be like, okay, well, I'm getting counter hit a lot. Like in a tournament, I was getting counter hit a lot, and I was like, I don't understand why I'm getting counter hit so much.
Yeah, because you're trying to because you're doing things slowly and you're not realizing it, right? But that's because this game encourages you to do things early. Because this game, it really doesn't penalize you for doing things early. Other games do. Other games, I gotta do I'll hit with this, then I gotta wait. I gotta wait for that stun to end, then I hit the button, right? This game, it's do that and then just go ahead and input it right away. Just like when we're doing this drill, right? We're this one, just commit to it. Because it's I don't even have to wait for this jab to touch you to input that elbow. I can do it before it even touches you, you know? So
I think once I get the pair or the buffer system, understanding the buffer system, but this definitely eye-opening because this is the problem I was running into. But I'm happy that I know what the problem was.
So now here's the easy thing. Okay, so now you're feeling the buffer, right? Now here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use evade, but you cannot use evade against people that are not buffering. All right. Only evade against people that are actually buffering. And so, or set up a really slow situation, right? So now, for example, I'm gonna block your side kick. Okay, do a side kick. Do 3K, right?
3K?
Yeah, down forward and kick, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, like you're doing that, okay? I'm gonna block it and then I'm gonna attack back, okay? So what I want you to do is when that thing touches, when you realize that I've blocked it, I want you to tap up and neutral. And just do that. And don't do anything else, alright?
Ready, go!
See that sidestep? Sidestep's really easy when you buffer it. And then try it with down, right? Down and neutral, yeah. Oops, this is a half circular, that's why. That's half circular, that's why. Okay. Right? So you're doing great. That's like how easy you can buffer. And in fact, here's the thing. I want you to like, when you, after you input that evade, I want you to, are you using stick or pad?
I'm using stick.
Stick? Hitbox. Okay. So after you hit the evade, I want you to just put your hand up in the air, okay? When you hit the evade.
Round 4.
Because I want you to see how quickly, how much time there is. Sorry. Do you see like how, and test how early you can do that evade. Just push the limits on it. See, how early can I do this evade? Like start with like when your kick is touching me. And then start doing it a little later until you find the right spot where you can actually evade. Like how much earlier is that from when your character actually recovered?
Crazy.
That's 12 frames, right? So for an example of 12 frames, you see this low punch? The time it takes for this low punch to hit you is 12 frames. From when I start it to when it touches you. That's 12 frames. That's how much time the game gives you to input your next move.
That's kind of crazy.
Right? So the game is not penalizing you for doing early, right? It's like you can be way early. That's why we talk about the buffer. Because if you're not buffering, what happened when you were not buffering? It got frustrating, right? The opponent was out hitting you. And so when I realize there's at the low level of play, it's because they can't buffer. I'm a little nicer to opponents that can't buffer, but I do tell them that's the problem. When I fight high level players, there is a time when they're not buffering. And do you know what that is? That's when when you see them moving and just not attacking until after they see me attack, right? And so you'll see them like move around and then they'll just wait and they'll crouch dash in. So do crouch dashes, right? Crouch dash is good because watch, like, here's the thing. Okay, let me show you the weakness of this move. Okay? What did I tell you? I told you this move is strong if the opponent attacks, right?
Yeah.
But it's not strong if the opponent just moves and guards, right? So if you block, well, okay, but if you evade, okay. But just crouch dash, watch. I want you to crouch dash like this. Just hit, like, just mash on down forward. Yeah, right? Watch what happens. Just do it and don't press any button. Don't press any button at all. Look at this. As long as you don't push a button, this thing will never hit you, right? In fact, you know, like, hold down forward, like, hold the down and the forward button on your hitbox, okay? And understand that you're gonna, like, leave your middle finger on that down button. So all you have to do is just mash the right button, okay? Just mash on that right direction while holding the down. Just go do. Yeah, see? Now watch this. It is impossible for me to hit you with this move. Right? Right? Not a threat anymore.
I think I've noticed that.
Now you understand why, this is why this move is, like, when beginners use this move, it's strong because the opponent's hitting a button. But it's weak when the opponent just simply moves around, right? And you've seen me in matches do this. This is evade cancel. So I tap up and then I do a crouch dash. Right?
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, because, okay, so this is what we call, this right here is a failed evade. The failed evade is vulnerable to getting hit, okay? So, like, when I do a failed evade, any attack or throw is going to beat me. What's the successful evade? Successful evade was the one where, remember that I told you block, right? And then you did, like, side kick, and then you evaded, right? And what happened was you were, like, -7. So here's the thing. What -7 means was that after I block this, I could act 7 frames before you do. Okay? So if that's the case, and if I'm a person that's gonna hit the attack button, the chances is really high that my attack is going to start like before you recover, because 7 frames, right? And that's why evading's easy here, because the rule for evade is a successful evade has to be done when the opponent is already attacking you. If you evade before the opponent attacks, you will fail automatically, right? So that's why, okay, like, so now I want you to block my sidekick, and then I want you to attack me, okay? But you have to buffer, okay? If you don't buffer, I'm gonna fail to evade. That's why you're getting out hit too. Because when you do this against beginners, it's a bad idea. When you do it against beginners, I have to do stuff like backdash evade because they're slow, because they're not buffering, right? But when I fight strong players, they're gonna buffer, so this will beat the buffered attack. And don't be afraid of this. The answer for this is to throw me, right? So go like, so you see that I'm doing this, just throw me. Throwing is gonna beat sidestep, but you gotta do it right away. You gotta buffer the throw. Okay?
Oh, buffer the throw? Oh.
Yeah. See? So if somebody's sidestepping you, don't be mad, just throw them, right?
A lot of times, I think
against beginners, don't.
When I was.
So against beginners, you don't throw because they mash attack. That's why you don't throw beginners. It's still really good, but against players like me, you watch them do this. You watch them go like, okay, when he blocks my low punch, I'm gonna evade. Well, you throw that, okay? So you block the. Now, generally, you can't just, if somebody does low punch and throw, you gotta delay that throw. But when it comes to sidestep, you can throw right away. Because when I do the sidestep, I'm gonna instantly stand up. Okay.
Yeah, I see a lot of people like, well, like me. I won't say mid level. People that played a little bit, they like to evade like 6P. Just a lot of moves that I knew they was just kept evading, and I was getting frustrated.
Right.
And I started throwing, but it'd be even easier now that I know I need to buffer.
So you should know that your first answer when people are sidestepping you is to throw. It just means that you're not throwing enough. It means like, oh, they're making themselves throwable now. Like, it's gonna be hard to hit them, but they're making themselves throwable. And then later on we do the half circulars. But it's the first important thing is to know that you should throw. Okay. So, so we're going like this again, right? I'm gonna do double low punch, so I want you to do an elbow back. You gotta buffer it. There you go. Okay, look at that. Now this is like you're doing this perfectly. Does it feel a lot better?
Yeah.
Now you know what buffering's all about, right? And you need to be able to buffer first, because if you don't know how to buffer, you're at a big disadvantage. When you don't know how to buffer, that's when you see me doing stuff like this, right? And the reason, and you start seeing me do things that are not frames tight. Like I'll do like low punch this, right? And a lot of beginners will do. So here is where Vanessa can frame trap on defense stance, and I don't really encourage you to play this way, but this is where, okay, now you can't do the elbow. I'll show you why. Against Vanessa, she does this tactic. So try to block and then elbow, okay? Right?
Oh, okay.
Like, actually you can elbow. So you can elbow, but you gotta be tight. Yeah, you can elbow. The problem is that a lot of people are trying to do something slower, and so this thing becomes like a thing that a lot of beginner Vanessa players do, but that's because they're trying to punish things like the 6K, right? But again, if you did elbow will beat everything, okay? So 6P will win, in this case after you block low punch.
Okay.
That said,
So why do you discourage people playing defensive stance? Is it because it's like a crutch?
Okay, so here's the thing. When I told you just now, what did I tell you was the first answer you should think of when somebody's sidestepping you?
Offensive?
Well, no, it's to throw them. Okay?
Oh,
Throwing
I thought you
beats
said
defense.
stance.
So one thing is you need to know that throwing beats defense, right? So if you're guarding, I should be doing tackle, right? I should do like this, or I should do this one is really good, right? Right? Because look at all that damage. And that's a lot of damage, right? So, right? So like throwing is strong. And Vanessa's throwing game is really good. Okay. It's really important to understand this. It's important to understand things like this because then, you know how we were talking about the jab elbow. So go ahead and guard, right? So the opponent gets used to this. We're conditioning them with this, right? Then we start doing this, right? Then we start doing jab into throw, right? Because we're like, oh, now he's afraid. So now that I've gotten him defending, I'm going to throw him. I'm going to jab him and then I'm going to throw him, right? Boom, boom, right? It's really tough. Okay, the thing is a lot of people that start with defense stance, they're thinking about the way they play other fighting games, whether it's Tekken or 2D fighters. And in those games, would you say throws are good or bad?
Bad.
They're really bad, right? And in those games, throws have a lot of problems in those games. But the main problem with throws in those games is they don't do much damage, right? They're not threatening. And then they're easy to Tekken, they're easier to tech. They're not easy to tech, but like high level player will just tech all of them and they're so proud of it, right? So throwing is just not part of the game, except for key parts of it. It's only a part of the game when people do very direct stuff. So it's like counter tech, but it's not really like, you don't feel good doing throws. So here's the problem with defense stance Vanessa. Defense stance Vanessa, they start doing stuff like this. So you try to like low punch mash me, right? Right, and then they think this is the answer, but look at how much damage that is. That's not a lot of damage. So then a player like me would just block this thing, and then attack right away, right? So like attack and then do like the knee, okay? Right, attack and do 9K, right, and we'll do something like that and combo you. This is just such a the only reason that the defense stance player likes this move is because it beats all the low punches. Right? And so what happens is they end up going, I can just attack. Okay, but you're not making profit. And you're not playing the actual VF game. You're playing this, I want to win with attack. And I don't want to defend, and I don't want to throw. I just want to play attack, and maybe block sometimes. That's the trap. And then they start saying that, you know, all the stuff I've been teaching you about offense stance, they're like, this makes no sense at all. Right? You know, do you understand what I do? So do you understand the problem where like why we say we're telling people please learn offense stance first? Because offense stance you have to learn this move. You need to learn this. You need to learn that this thing will just beat a lot of stuff and why people do it. Why do all the other characters do it, right? And if you don't understand this, you start trying to win everything with attack, and there are good attacks. They're really good attacks. But that's the only way you're playing, then suddenly people just start spacing you out, blocking, and then counterattacking you. And now you're like, I don't know how to fight. Right? And you're like, this game doesn't make sense to me. Because you've been learning it backwards. You're learning her special tools. These things are disruptive. This is a disruptive move. It's a really good move. But it's to directly hard read somebody doing an attack. So you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, right? But the beginner is like, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, which doesn't make as much sense, but they're doing it that way anyways, right? They're just like, I'm going to keep doing this, right? Just to beat all the high punches and low punches. Try to sidekick me, okay? Right, good. So what move is it? I can't remember what move it is. She's got really good Sabaki attacks though. I'll just say that she has good attacks. Then she has this hook, this uppercut, which is really fast. So they get used to that too. So they're kind of like, okay, like they'll just kind of use this thing to win a lot of situations, but they get no damage because it's fast, right? So like for example, this time I'm gonna low punch, and then you're gonna like elbow me back, okay? So this thing is winning, but it does almost no damage, right? And then same thing, like let's say you do jab elbow. Go ahead and jab elbow me, okay? So this thing is winning, but it's doing almost no damage. The thing is, a strong player like me knows that if I do this to you, I should just throw you right away like this. See how much damage I did now? But the beginner that learned defense stance didn't learn that. What they learned was, I'm just going to keep doing this thing. You know what I mean? Like, because they don't know what to do with the decision. They're not looking at, they're just like, how do I win with attack? Well, I win with attack by doing this, and then they'll do weird stuff like this. and you're like, this is not good VF, because this is like you have to hit me like 20 times to win the round, and I only have to hit you like 4 times, you know? So, and so this is why we're telling them like to wait and learn how to the fundamentals of this first. Because we're like, learn how to play VF first, and then learn why this was good, right? You did this to disrupt them, then you use the advantage. This to disrupt them, then you did the knee, right? You're like boom, boom, right? Boom, right? And then you start using her tools in a good way, but her tools, but they just learn to attack all day, and it's like, please learn how to defend. Learn why you want to defend, right? And then learn why you want to throw, especially throw. Like, they're just like, they're too afraid to throw, because the hard part is the beginner, when they were learning how to throw, they were trying to just go ahead and fight me, right? And then what's the problem with throw? Well, throw loses to attack, right? So they're just like, throws suck, man. Throws just really suck. You know? And you're like, that's not how this game works, right? They're just like, just throw is just so bad, right? You know? Like, why can't I throw you, man? Everyone says throw's good. Why does it suck, right? You know? But really what it is... So now it's like, it's one like, let's go ahead and spar in offense stance. We'll just do our spars, right? And I'll show you like different stuff. Right? And so this is where throw is strong, right? I jabbed you, I got you to defend, and then I threw you, right?
Right.
Right? And then you're seeing the power of buffering the elbow after stuff. So yes, you could evade that elbow, but I'm not at too much of a risk on elbow. That said, I will teach you the weakness of jab elbow. I'll teach you the weakness of jab elbow. You're going to have to really buffer though. This one is a hard, like, you need to be ready. You need to be really ready to do this one. And if you're not ready, don't do this option. But I'll teach you the weakness of jab elbow. The biggest weakness. There's multiple. Okay. Weakness of jab elbow. I'm going to do jab elbow. Okay. I want you to block the jab, and I want you to evade the elbow, okay? Perfect. Now I want you to block the jab, evade the elbow, and throw right away, okay? And in this case, I want you to evade up and then do like a throw that ends in forward throw. So it could be back forward, it could be half circle forward is better. So if you can do that one, okay?
Alright.
Perfect. Isn't that cool? This is the weakness of jab elbow. The weakness of jab elbow is that you can evade throw it. And there's actually a secret tech I've taught you here. So now I want you to evade down and do like a throw that ends in back, okay? Sorry.
I would say,
Yeah. That was perfect. Look at that. So right now, I'm good. If you do neutral throw, there's a decent chance I'll break it. You want to do a directional throw. Like, if you evade up, I want you to do half circle forward throw, okay? Because that was neutral throw. And if you evade down, I want you to do like half circle back throw.
It's kind of hard.
Oh, okay, dude. That's actually, it's hard on hitbox, so yeah. Do any throw you like though. But you have the idea, right? This is the actual weakness, but this is hard to do. And here's the thing. Now I want you to do another thing. I'm gonna do, or actually do the same thing. And I'll show you how to counter somebody that's doing this. So. So this is how you counter somebody that's doing it. You do 2 jabs in a row instead, right? Or you do this and you throw them. Right? So suddenly this is the counter for somebody's evading it, right? And there's a lot of counterplay here. But so what do you think of this? Is this pretty cool? This is hard stuff, but
honestly, this is something that I've been struggling with people just evading, like after, say they do a down jab.
Yeah.
Say I do block their down jab and then I do a 6P, a lot of people will just evade.
Right, so they're doing this.
Sometimes when I don't do the 6P and I throw, they start just pressing. So it's kind of like, it's annoying sometimes.
Okay, so I'll give you something to do this, student, okay? So now, let's pretend I'm a person that's going to low punch you, and then I'm going to evade down, okay? You're going to block the low punch. Now, the first answer is you should throw, but it's not always the best answer, but that is a good answer. So first, block the low punch and then throw, okay?
Okay.
But if you're slow, that was too slow. You gotta do it right away. You gotta buffer it just like when you were doing the, you gotta buffer it exactly like when you were doing the elbow, okay?
The elbow.
Yeah, just do it right
Yeah,
away.
and also I wasn't buffering throw.
Yeah, you gotta buffer the throw. If you don't buffer the throw, it's not gonna, it has a chance at not working and blowing you up. Alright? You gotta do, so this is, we're training you on how to properly deal with this. But I'll show you multiple answers, okay? The first answer is going to be, the first answer is basically, is going to be throw them, okay? So, low punch, I'm going to sidestep down, okay? You gotta buffer the throw. Good. 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 See? You're doing it perfectly. I'm actually doing things that would punish you if you're late. If you're late, the thing I do might punish you. Okay? Good, right? So the only thing that you're worried about is this. This is what you're afraid of when throw, okay? But throw is really good. See? If I evade, your throw is going to get me. See? Perfect, right? This is very easy. This throwing is the answer to somebody evading. Now, but the problem is you can't delay throw. You got to throw like right away. That's hard.
I gotta commit to it.
Yep. So now here's the thing. Are you able to see front and back? Are you able to see like which character? Okay, you're Vanessa. Which direction, up or down, is her backside facing? Her chest, or I'm sorry, her butt. Her butt's your character. Your Vanessa's butt is to the back. Okay, it's to up. It's to up. Okay.
That's kind of confusing how the way you word it.
It is. Okay, so because we're talking about front and back. Okay. So which direction is your character's chest facing?
The front.
Okay, but down or
I
up?
can see her chest.
Which evade direction? If I press down or up, which way is that?
Right.
Okay, you're thinking Tekken logic. So we're talking about, okay, so the stick is down. This is down, right? This is down. If I press down, this is down. If I press up, this is up. Okay?
Right.
So your character's front is facing the down direction. This is when 6K will win against somebody evading down.
So it depends on what like
Yeah.
front side she's facing.
You want it? Okay, you want me to show you? Okay, so this is where VF gets hard, okay? Because it's not like Tekken.
Yeah.
In Tekken, everybody
Yeah, I'm kind of confused.
in Tekken everybody is got their left foot forward. In Tekken, everybody in Tekken fights like a right-handed fighter. Horong is able to switch stances, but he still generally fights like a right-handed fighter. In Virtua Fighter, they're all ambidextrous, and so it's more about. And so, in Virtua Fighter, the thing that's important to understand is which direction is their front facing, which is their back facing. So go ahead and do here. Okay, so here's the thing. If you were to evade to my back, which direction would that have to be? You're evading the attacker's back, which is my back. Which way are you gonna evade?
Down, right?
Down. That's correct. Yes, that is correct.
Down, right?
So now I will also say that backside is the same side as the front foot. So sometimes it's better to just look at the front foot or the back foot. But I need you to understand that when you read a move list, it's going to talk about front or back. So you need to know what front or back is. And in this case, back is to the down direction. So now I'm going to jab you, and then I'm going to do this. I want you to evade to my backside. Okay? There you go. All right?
Okay.
You have to evade based on this. So see, that was correct. And on top of that, you can attack me. So evade and then attack me. Right? And I'm going to try to block. So now, which way would you have to evade?
To your back up.
Correct.
Right, yeah.
Correct. So evade, and I want you to attack, not throw, okay?
Oh.
See? See how those blue hits? Those were all guaranteed.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, I did that too slow.
That was guaranteed. That one was not because I did a different move, right? Because I forgot that I switched stance now. Okay, so now... See, and you're doing great. Look at how good you're doing, and you're correct. And you made the adjustments. You knew which direction was back, was my character's back. So now, here's the thing. I want you to evade to my front now, okay?
Okay.
So you must evade this to the backside. If you evade to the front, I want you to see the consequences of evading to the wrong direction.
Oh, okay.
See that? So now, yeah. See? So now you evade to the front. Now evade to her front just to see those consequences again, right? Right? It's really scary.
Yeah.
Right? So, okay, now.
Oh, that's perfect. Now,
Okay, so like let's say let me show you the way to punish somebody that's evade to the back though. Okay? And we're gonna do the reverse now. So now I'm gonna jab and then I'm gonna do another thing and you're gonna evade to the backside like you happen, okay?
Okay.
This is why this game is scary, right? Very good.
But it will always be a counter hit if you evade one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's good.
There is a way to mitigate that, but it's hard. So now you're seeing like you got to evade to, if you evade to her back. Now in this case you're doing it correctly because you're not following the direction changes. Notice how every time I do this I switch stance. The back and front changes.
Oh, okay.
So in VF they can switch stance. So I'm going to show you. Like attacks will switch the stance. All right.
I should have put it just one map. I wasn't paying attention.
So the reason you were getting mixed was because I was switching stances and you kept going down. So see like now the highest damage is going to be the forward throw after this. Like if they get you into tackle, the highest damage for Vanessa is forward throw. So now forward throw, escape forward throw. Yeah.
Okay.
Forward throw is the highest damage one, followed by back throw, and then neutral throw. Vanessa really should be doing forward or back throw and understanding the opponent. So, right?
Alright.
Okay, so now you're seeing that. So now I want you to let's flip the script here. You are now Vanessa, okay? Let's imagine I'm an opponent that's always gonna evade up. Okay? So I'm gonna try to low punch. I'm gonna try to side kick you. You're gonna guard it, and then I'm gonna evade up. Okay. So now, which way would that be? If I evaded up, that's to your character's back, right? So that means you need to do 2k plus g is your answer here. Okay.
Okay.
Correct. Excellent. And then when you do the takedown, I want you to do the forward throw. Okay. As a good habit. So. Good. Good. And try to do the hit throw. We'll just do normal. You just gotta hit like forward and throw. No problem. But you understand how this works, right? So now you're starting to see how this works.
So back would be 2kg, right?
Yeah.
And front would be 6k. 6k or 6k.
Yeah. Now an easy answer actually is actually 4pk. So like I'm gonna evade to your back. 4p and then k is going to beat that. Okay. So I'm gonna side kick and then evade. I'm gonna evade to your back. Yeah. I want you to practice buffering that. And then if you want to see something really cool, after you do that, do 2k pp. Okay. So I'll show it to you. This time you evade to my back, okay?
Oh, okay. 2k.
Okay, so I'm going to side kick and then you evade to my back, alright? And I'll show you something cool.
We got the plus on block thing.
Yeah, let me see here. So you're going to side kick. I'm going to guard it and then, yeah, cool. Let's keep doing this.
Okay.
Good. Keep doing this.
Oh, that combo.
Yeah, if they don't tech roll. So you can dash in and do 2k PP. It's so mean.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's a fun one. So now this time I'm gonna be the one evading, okay? So you're gonna block my sidekick, I'm gonna evade to your back. And then dash in and yeah, there you go. So you're like, if you don't tech roll, I'm gonna do a big combo against you. Right? Yeah.
Okay.
But tech roll will be guaranteed, so you kind of wait, and you're gonna learn how to dash in and do 2k. So you're gonna do like dash in, 2k PP, right?
Okay.
So. But that was good, alright? So you get, okay, I'll stay down next time for that, so. But you have a small limited time for it. Right? And that's a lot of damage. So that's a good thing, is like you dash to see if they do anything, and if you realize they're not going to tech roll, you just do 2k PP. You know? So that's a really scary Okizeme that she has, right? So that's the principle of the half circulars. Now, but also to be able to evade, you got to buffer. And if your opponent doesn't buffer, you don't do evades. You know, so like you'll have to make a determination.
So like low level or?
So like at low level, it's harder. So at low level, I use dash evades. When I fight somebody that's not as strong, I'll just do like a backdash into evade. That'll buy me time. But if they're really, really slow, then I just... So basically, it goes like this. If I fight somebody and I'm like, I realize that you're like not buffering, then I might do something like backdash evade. And then I might do backdash evade backdash, or I might do backdash evade crouch dash, right? And this is because backdash evade just buys me extra time, increases the chance that your attack, that I'm gonna evade your attack, okay? Because if I evade right away and you don't do anything, I'm like gonna be in trouble. I'm gonna get hit because you're not buffering. So, and I'll know this because when we fight and I do this and you hit me, I'm like, they're not buffering. So then now I just kind of go like this. Right? Then I just change like which options are good against you, right? And then if I realize, and I realize you're taking your sweet time, then I start just doing this. I start spamming you with attacks because you're too slow. You know, because I'm just like, you're not like this is gonna start winning, and then if I see you block like 3 times in a row, I'll just throw you. You know, so that's what happens. Like when you see me mashing, it's because this is punishing the guy that is too slow, that isn't buffering, right? And then I just go like, okay, now he's really afraid, so I'm just gonna keep throwing him, right? And then, or I might do this, right? So this is where you have to fight. In Virtua Fighter, you have to fight your opponent. I cannot fight everybody the same way. If I fight everyone the same way, I'm gonna lose like a lot of those matches. So each person, I've got to tune the way I fight each person. It's not a huge strategic shift. It's just a tactical one. It's just more like, oh, okay, this person doesn't buffer, then jab elbow is really good. And when I get something with elbow, I'm gonna just do some big launcher because they're probably gonna get hit by it, you know. Or I might trick them, right? So now let's talk about beating elbow and beating low punch, okay? So go ahead and I want you to, I'm gonna low punch, and I want you to elbow back, okay?
Yeah.
So this is where I use a backdash. Okay? So I did backdash into 9K, right? I can also do backdash into this too.
String or something.
What's that?
Like, say somebody do a string after you backdash and then...
Yeah. So you definitely could punish me. So if you did a side kick, you would beat this, right? So if you do 3K, that will beat this.
Oh, okay.
But you gotta do it. You gotta buffer it.
A lot of times, like, say I do try to do a setup with a down jab, sometimes they just don't do the down jab, they just do a string, and like second or third part just hits me.
Yeah. That's also the thing, right? They're sometimes they're gonna try to use the pressure to do that, but there's big weaknesses to string pressure. So I'll show those to you. I should jump out after this game, switch to like power to like Lao, so I can show you the weaknesses of it. Heavy characters are harder. Vanessa, you can do it, right? So here's the thing. How do you beat this?
just fuzzy.
No, you just low punch this. There's too many highs. You just low punch this. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So someone's doing this. You just got to low punch, but you just make sure you don't low punch into an